Hello, it is Sunday, March 20th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is, of course, a Sunday puzzle today, so a big grid, as we can see on the screen. It is a huge grid. I'm always taken by surprise, every time. Maybe not surprise, but it's always a bit of a shock to encounter it. Anyway, let's thank a few people. So I would like to personally thank Josh Lucas, David Innes, and as always, the inestimable Hood Monster for bringing us this edition of the Daily Solve. Thank you to the three of them, Patreons of the Daily Solve. Well, they're benefactors, more specifically, I suppose, of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. But speaking of the patrons of that campaign, thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level, which will get you the extra channel in the Daily Solve Discord chat server, which is a nice community full of people who watch this series and discuss crosswords and also Wordle and construct crosswords as well. So you can solve crosswords constructed by members of this community. And I might do another one of those soon for the Patreon campaign because, well, I might make another video in which I solve those because I didn't get through all of them this month. There were so many. Anyway, you also get access to all of those bonus videos on the Daily Solve Patreon page if you are a supporter. And if you support at the benefactor level, you also get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug and that recognition at the beginning of these videos. So thank you to everybody who has chipped in to help make this a sustainable bit of work for me. Okay, let's move on to... Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I was reminded today. I don't think I would have noticed this. I would have noticed it eventually, but I wouldn't have noticed it on the day it occurred without it being mentioned by Kathleen Quinn, who said, "You hit the 5,000 subscribers milestone. Congratulations. Onward to 10,000. So thank you, Kathleen. I think 10,000 is probably quite a ways away, I would think. But it is, it's really nice to have reached 5,000. It's a nice, important sounding number. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed. And if you haven't, why not do so? Help me creep up towards that 10K. Okay, now, for real, we are absolutely on to today's crossword. This is a Sunday puzzle entitled Exes and Nos by Brad Wiegman, who has constructed a small handful of New York Times crosswords and edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So the Sunday puzzle, as always, has a title. The only New York Times puzzles with, well, the only daily New York Times crossword puzzles with titles. And so I wonder if this will have something to do with former partners, I'm guessing. Exes and Nos. We'll have to see. Ready to get started? Okay. A band of supporters. I don't know, a sect maybe? It could support a particular religion or figure. I'm not sure. A cult, I guess, if you're being more extreme. Something absolutely necessary. It could be a tenet of belief, I suppose. Speaking of sort of religious belief, I don't know why I'm on that track. I guess once your brain starts going down a particular pathway, it does seem to sort of stay there for a bit. Watchmaker since 2015. Oh, Apple, I suppose. Is that when Apple started making the Apple Watch? Must have been. So something absolutely necessary. Probably should be obvious, but I'm not immediately seeing it. Washed out. Well, it could be a color that's washed out and is pale, but it could also mean somebody who is washed out and is... no longer at the top of their game. Let's keep going. Blank and Janice comic strip. I vaguely remember this from newspapers when I was growing up. Arlo and Janice, I want to say. Don't remember what Arlo and Janice did, but I think they were probably married, I'm guessing. So maybe not among the X's and Nos of today's puzzle. Making change. Agitating, maybe? No. Well past the freshness date, say. Rancid or rotten or... None of those fits. My Fair Lady composer. Oh. Is it Loeb or something like that? I'm probably thinking of the wrong composer. We'll keep going. Actor and comedian who is a regular on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. I don't think I'm going to know this without some more crosses. Hopefully I recognize it when we get the crosses. Oomph could be pep or zip, something like that. Let's check the crosses. Meathead and military uniform feature could be epaulette, the sort of decorative shoulder element. So pep looks plausible, a plausible pep. Bluish-green shades. And something a winner may run into. Tape, maybe? You cross a race and you break the winner's tape to signify your victory. Bluish-green shades. I think this is in my brain, and I think it's on the tip of my tongue, but for some reason I can't access it. Very frustrating. Shameful could be tisk, tisk. And a side dish at a fish fry could be slaw, coleslaw. And maybe this wasn't in my mind. The W doesn't look familiar. What about the... Oh, here we go. So here's one of our theme clues. It's italicized, and they're not always italicized, but sometimes they are, and that's one of the ways the constructor can choose to indicate that a number of clues have something in common. And so in this case, so then I dated a fun couch potato, but he... And we're presumably going to fill in the rest of what I assume to be a punny conclusion to this sentence into the grid here. So then I dated a fun couch potato, but he got too baked or something. I don't know. Could end with broke up, but he doesn't look great. Oh, maybe out, something out here. Oh, is pewter, would you call? Oh, pewters with a question mark. That's okay, yes. So pewter is sort of a, it's a metal, but I suppose it must also be a name for the color that resembles it. So that's fair enough. Football cheer, so here we have it spelled in the Spanish manner, so we want that ole. And... oh, a palooka. A meathead is a palooka. Slightly, I would say a bit of a dated term at this point to refer to a big lug, a big ape of sort of a archetype, I guess. Okay, so it does end with out. So then I dated a fun couch potato, but I'm wondering if the pun is around the potato, is around food, or if it's just around, if we're just using couch potato in the sense of, its metaphorical meaning, someone who sits around, watches television. Not sure. It could be both, I suppose, in a very clever pun situation. Way to go abbreviation could be a root, but I don't want to confidently move on from that until I know if at least some of the crosses are correct. Towing the line. Oops, looks like my keyboard is running out of power. Let me just plug this in. Sorry. This thing does not hold a charge. I got a wireless keyboard, and I do not feel it holds its charge very well. Anyway. Lab vessel, a beaker. A beaker is a lab vessel, for a vessel meaning in this case a container. They're found near traps. Rats, perhaps? I mean, if they've been killed by the traps, is that what it's implying? Timeout in the NBA. Why is timeout in quotation marks? Don't know enough about NBA rules or conventions to really know what that's implying. Where else can we look? What about this? Oh, Lena of Enemies, a Love Story. Okay, I don't think I'm familiar with Enemies, a Love Story, but I've heard of Lena Olin. Not sure what she was in. But I am pretty confident that is the name of an actor and how her name is spelled, I think. Could it be this? No, don't think so. Alley blank, alley oop. Well, that's related to basketball, right? It's an alley-oop when there's sort of a setup and then someone tips it in. Or no, is it a pass? Is an alley-oop the pass and then I can't remember. Someone will tell me now that I've acknowledged that I don't know. Non-starters probably ends with an S. And what about this? Here's another theme clue. It's tough finding the right person. My first boyfriend was a perfectly nice atheist, but he... I wish I could just grab these out of the air. That would be so satisfying, wouldn't it? Don't know. And here we have, oh, right, washed out. We already had that. Oh, blank Bator, Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. So does that help? Something absolutely necessary. Without you, it doesn't seem like there could be too many things this could be. Washed out. Paling, maybe? It's not perfect. Oh, crossword solving option, pen perhaps, which is virtually what I am using to solve this crossword. Whereas you can't, the button is unfortunately obscured by the Daily Solve logo up there, but I could, oh, you can just barely see the little highlighting of the button as I change it. I could switch to pencil mode and type pencil. And that would be, it would be good to fill this one in with pencil because I'm pretty sure Lizzie in the Cars movies is not a pencil. So it's good I didn't fill that out in pen. That said, I have no idea what Lizzie is, but presumably she is a car and not a pencil. I don't know what kind of car. What kind of cars are there? They don't use real car makes in the Cars films, do they? So this wouldn't be Toyota or something like that, I don't think. A spider, which would fit in this number of letters and is a term for some convertibles, or I don't know. Band of supporters. Word from the French for high wood. I don't know. Oh, but he had no prayer. Here we go. Okay, got the first one of these. So it's tough finding the right person. My first boyfriend was a perfectly nice atheist, but he had no prayer. So there we go. All right, so that is the sort of thing we're looking for. Now, why couldn't I have gotten? Oh, didn't work out. So then I dated a fun couch potato, but he, oops, didn't work out. I put the apostrophe in there just by instinct. All right, so we've got some groan-worthy punning going on, presumably throughout this whole grid. So that'll be fun to encounter. Okay, big name in pricey cigars. And you can't say it doesn't count. An abacus, perhaps? Because it does count. That's what it does. That's its only job. Oh, word from the French for high wood. Oboe. Could that be it? A high wind instrument that is made of wood. And does that help here? Band of supporters. Is it something that supports something physically? Why do I not see what that is? Big name and pricey cigars. And main component of Saturn's rings. Ice, I believe. Non-starters. And Italian wine region is Asti? I always get this confused. With maybe the Villa d'Este? Can't remember. I think it might be Asti. I think it's asked something. Lizzie, okay, so Lizzie is one in the Cars movies. Oh, a rodent? Maybe Lizzie's not a car. Or there's a type of car that I can't think of. Band of supporters. I'm getting sort of hung up here. I should move on. There's really no point. I'll eventually get this answer, and then that will give me some crosses. So what am I doing? You're so wrong about that. I don't know. We'll come back to it. That'll be obvious with more crosses, I'm sure. Scintilla could be, I don't know, drip, not one scintilla. Not great. Fastened in a way. Something to or on. 30 for 30 error. Oh, I've heard of this because this is some sort of sports documentary series. And I think the one I heard about was the one that got really big, which was the one about O.J. Simpson. And it's ESPN, maybe? Fastened in a way. So it looks like on. Tied on, perhaps? Let's check the crosses there. So what is this? Something a must. Something absolutely necessary is a must. It's two words, and that's why I wasn't getting there. Because I was trying to think of a single word with a here and u here. And it was actually very much, I suppose, a sort of Wordle problem, a 5-letter word in which you have a couple of letters placed. And I just could not think of very many candidates, certainly none that fit something absolutely necessary. And of course, it was because it was 2 words, not 1. Okay, it lands on the White House's South Lawn. Ah, this is not an S, because that is Marine 1 the helicopter used by the President of the United States. And so that puts pen here, non-starters. Oh, is this bullpen? Is that... I think that's a baseball term. Does that refer to your starting team, your starting lineup maybe? Or no, sorry, the opposite. What I meant was the people in the bullpen who are not the starters and are waiting to be put on later in the game. That must be what that is. Sort of one of those phrases I'm aware of, but I've never really used myself. Okay, big name and pricey cigars. Looks like Cohiba, I think. That sort of looks kind of familiar, although I know nothing about cigars. Oh, Lizzie is a Model T. So it is, okay, it is a real thing, although I suppose it's not using the Ford Motor Company name, which would have been who produced the Model T. But Model T, I suppose, was considered fair game, perhaps? And then Band of Supporters, Camp. Oh, I'm somehow missing entirely what this means. I'm sorry. Why do I not see that? Very frustrating. I'm sure it's blindingly and screamingly obvious to many of you, and I'm sure many of you are yelling at me through the screen about it. I apologize. What is that? Why do I not see it? I'm very frustrated at myself. Okay, washed out. Oh, pallid, as in your face could be pallid. It could be washed out. My face looks kind of pallid right in here in the lighting in this room right now, I must say. Don't know what's going on there. Scintilla, maybe it is a drip. Towing the line and possessive types. Oh, with a question mark, sorry. So there's some kind of pun or wordplay here. I need to start moving faster through this grid. It's been 14 minutes and I only have, like, I don't know, what, 20% of this thing? Okay. Oh, well past the freshness date. Maybe it's not, okay, so I was thinking rotted and that sort of thing, but maybe it's rotting, which could be true. And it does say. So well past the freshness date, say. Perhaps it's rotting. It gives you a bit of latitude. So the 1 in 1, 2, 3 abbreviation. So that's a mathematical set. What does that mean? Is that the x value? I mean, is this an x, y, z coordinate? I'm not sure. I don't really know what that's doing there. Okay, let's see. Dock could be a port, although, or that doesn't fit here. It could be moor. You could moor your boat, dock your boat. Does that work here? Making change. Yeah, amending. I think there are a number of these clues I never looked at for some reason. I don't know why. Why did I look at this, My Fair Lady Composer, but not this? Oh, I think I did look at making change. Sorry. And I thought maybe agitating or something like that. I did look at it. Okay. Anyway, Tour de France seasons. It's for summer. And, oh, right. Okay. I was right about this composer. I think I maybe spelled his name wrong, but yeah, Lo or Luva, however you'd pronounce it. So there we go. Okay, great. And actor-comedian Orson looks like. Don't know this person's surname. Towing the line, oh, obedient. Okay. And yeah, that's a fairly common phrase. Toe the line, do what you're told. Oh, scintilla is a drib, right. Dribs and drabs. Didn't bring that to mind for some reason. So not one scintilla, not one drib. Wouldn't necessarily say that, but I understand how they're synonyms now. Okay, possessive types and, oh right, the 1 and 1, 2, 3. Is it a sign? Is that the trigonometric function? I'm not sure. I think I'm missing something about that. One getting depressed during exams. A finger? Depress your finger? That doesn't seem right. Lead into cat. Well, cat is capitalized, so that suggests this is a brand name or proper noun of some kind. But in this case, I think a brand name Snowcat, which they make snowmobiles and that sort of thing. Something that all but three, U.S. presidents have had while in office. A pet, I suppose. Oh, that's wow. All but 3, wow. Camphor, e.g. don't know. Some kind of chemical compound. I'm not sure. Total jerk. I don't know. A twit or something slightly ruder than that that's similar. Italian wine region. Camphor. Let's see. One getting depressed during exams. They're found near traps. Oh, right. I thought maybe this could be rats. And then I don't know what the timeout is. So let's keep going. Here we have another theme clue. Then my friend set me up with a recluse, but he... Oh, I don't know. Obviously, it'll be something about how he wasn't around or didn't show up or something like that. Comedian Mort Saul, I recognize. And classic Hawaiian folk song. Oh, Aloha Oe. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that terribly. You'd recognize this if you heard it. Well, I mean, you maybe wouldn't, but it's quite a famous song. And I think was written by the Queen of Hawaii, and I cannot remember her name. Anyway, what makes the short list? And total jerk. Not sure. Let's keep looking around. What do we have here? Superman and others for short. Well, Superman is an alien, right? So could it be ETs, extraterrestrials, and book with a notable world premiere? I'm not sure. Obviously, there's some sort of pun or wordplay going on because we do have the question mark there. What middlemen do? Resell goods? One of the things I have to say I'm pretty exhausted by is the number of businesses in the internet era. I suppose this existed pre-internet as well in sort of direct catalog sales and things, but the number of businesses that claim they're saving you so much money by cutting out the middleman, but everything else seems to cost pretty much the same when it goes through all of the modern supply chain processes. Anyway, sorry. What makes the short list? And total jerk. Oh, a fool, maybe. I think, so the thing is, jerk has sort of changed in meaning, I think, over the decades. And it used to be something closer to a fool. Well, you think I'm some kind of jerk would mean you think I'm an idiot, basically. But now a jerk means someone who is sort of rude or unkind or uncouth or abrasive or self-centered, perhaps. Yeah, I'm not sure. A tool, maybe? That might be closer in the modern sense than fool, I think, honestly. What makes the short list? Oh, et al. So what makes the short list? So you could have a short list of things and then et al. To indicate, and then the rest of the things that would make up this list if I were being exhaustive. But I'm not, it's only a short list, so I'm using this Latin phrase. Okay, camphor. So what is this? Ketone? That sounds like something chemical. I'm not sure. What about this? You're so wrong about that. Oh, well, it could be like hell it is? Okay. Actually, like hell it is. Yeah, that works, actually. You're so wrong about that. Yeah, okay. So this could be ketone, I suppose. I mean, it sounds like a word I've heard before, but I couldn't tell you what it is, unfortunately. Okay, so then my friend set me up with a recluse, but he... something to not... Or to know thing, or to nothing. Came to nothing. There we go. All right, just had to sort of parse through the possibilities here. So he never came, didn't accompany me, presumably, to any interesting outings. He came to nothing, a recluse. Jokesters are cards. A total card is a total joker. Some Native Alaskans are Aleuts, and binary is dual, so one of two things. Not sparkling water, for instance, could be still. And tile work is mosaic. There we go. That all worked out pretty well. Academic journal with a Breakthrough of the Year award. Well, Science is a pretty famous peer-reviewed journal, so it must be that. And soccer star Messi to fans. Leo Messi? Sounds right to me. I mean, I certainly have heard of Messi, but I would never trust myself to confidently get a sports answer right off the bat. Swindled. Could be took. I was taken. I was swindled. He took me. And so-called father of liberalism, John Locke. Important early liberal philosopher. And I dated my rock climbing instructor for a while, but he just, I was going to say, left me hanging. That would, I think that would basically fit the pun theme, but it's obviously far too many letters. What about this? Richard of Chicago. Well, I know there was a film adaptation of Chicago, the musical starring Richard Gere, so that must be it. And noisy beachgoer, a gull. Yes, gulls are indeed very noisy presences at the beach, I can say. Leadership position. Leadership position. What about this? Native people for whom a state is named the Utes. And I know now that it's pronounced Ute, not Oot. Sorry about that. And it does match the state for whom they are named Utah. So Utah and Oot. Ute. Just did it. Ridiculous. Okay. Oh, leadership position, helm. Take the helm, you could say. And so that makes this look like, but he just let me hang or let me drop, maybe? Could be either of those two things, really, with rock climbing. I mean, if you were belaying, you could let someone hang. If you're free climbing, I suppose, you could let them drop, which would be pretty terrible. But either of those, I think, would work. So we'll have to check the crosses there. Apply to, and what is this? Oh, right. This is that depressed during exams. And then this is boxing highlight, a title game or something. The title bout, maybe? The fight that's for the title, I would think that is. And possessive types. Why do I? Oh, demons, because they can possess you. Sorry. Yes, there we go. You can be possessed by a demon, in theory. And so they're the possessive types. And then the 1 and 1, it's just the minimum value of 1, 2, and 3. Sorry. Also, much more straightforward than I was making it. Of 1, 2, 3, of the set of numbers 1, 2, 3, 1 is the minimum value. Okay. And 1 getting depressed during exams. Oh, tongue. I suppose a doctor could be examining you and using a tongue depressor to look at your throat. This looks like Orson Bean or Orson Beale. I have to say, unfortunately, I'm not familiar with this person firsthand, so might wait to fill that in. And apply to could be use on. You could apply a salve to a rash. You could use it on that rash, for instance. And bun in a bamboo steamer would be a bao, steamed Chinese buns, which are prepared, or at least served in a bamboo steamer. I guess probably prepared that way as well. When doubled, a candy. A bonbon, right? And rubberneck. Oh, to gape or to gawk. Maybe to gawk is more accurate. And yes, actually, okay. So it was, sorry, the rock climbing instructor was nothing as drastic as what I was imagining. So I'm glad I didn't write either of those in. It's let me down. He let me down. That's a bit less catastrophic, I suppose. Okay, book with a notable world premiere, and then right, Orson, yes. Bit of a chuckle, could be heh, maybe, or ha. Heh seems like more chuckly to me with the E. And what about this? Internet encryption initials. So HTTPS, a secure version of HTTP, which is hyper something transfer protocol. I wanted to say hypertext, but that's from HTML. Maybe it is hypertext transfer protocol. Anyway, the S is for secure. Timeout in the NBA, and then a house divided against itself cannot stand, which is attributed to Abraham Lincoln, and a ruby-like gem. And quick with a clap back. Sassy, maybe? Not sure. Let's check the crosses, though. Okay, well, blank Pacific looks like Asia Pacific to me. And bad signs for a bank robber. and mishmashes. And then here we have another theme clue. Then I had a fling with a Pittsburgh Penguin, but I knew he wasn't going to fly? No. Well, it'll be something about penguins being flightless birds, so I think we can assume the end is fly. Ruby like Jen. Oh, maybe isn't a spinet a ruby like gem? That would make this not fly at the end. Interesting. I could be wrong about spinet though. Bad signs for a bank robber and mishmashes. Maybe I'll write this in pencil. How about that? I so rarely do that. Almost never. I have to admit, I do it more when I'm solving cryptic crosswords because those are much more difficult for me. Okay, anyway, oops. Book with a notable world premiere. Why do I not see what this is? Oh, Genesis. Oh, I see. Genesis. I see. The premiere, so to speak, of the world in its creation as told by the Old Testament. Very clever. Book with a notable world premiere. Okay. Time out in the NBA All-Star game? Oh, they're found near trapped lats. So this is referring to muscles on the human body. I see. Or presumably other primates, I guess, as well. All-Star games? Not sure what that means exactly, timeout. Maybe they mean it's not part of the regular season? Is that what that means? Bad signs for bank robber. Oh, sirens. Oh, maybe this is spin it after all. And then capital of Fiji. Oh, I'm not sure offhand. And then How Blank Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother. I've not seen it, but I've certainly heard of it. That show seems like it went on absolutely forever. And mishmashes. Samples or... it doesn't seem quite right. Hard stuff that jiggles. I don't know, something made out of rubber, perhaps, which could be hard, but also jiggly. I'm not sure. Cuisine featuring somtam. Is that Thai? That looks right. But let's check the crosses. Wise guys, and one might be smoke-filled. And not surprisingly, Outback Speedster. An emu or a roo, maybe? Are either of those particularly fast? Face on a penny, familiarly. Abe. And keep rhythm as a conductor, might. Sorry. Oh, and here we have beloved site for the Irish and French. What does that mean? Oh, I see. Notre Dame, the cathedral in Paris, or alternatively, the university in the United States, which in that case would be pronounced, I think, Notre Dame, and its sports teams are the Irish, the Fighting Irish, I think. So that's a clever clue. And fading sea name, the Aral Sea is shrinking. And fun-sized, often used in a commercial context to describe something smaller, something miniature. Relaxation could be ease, perhaps. And features of some halls. Atria, maybe they could have an atrium. Big name in hot dogs. Nathan's. Nathan's came up in... Oh, it was an acrostic I solved on the Patreon channel a month or two ago, I think. We'll be in touch often. A white lie, maybe? Because often when people say that, it is absolutely not true. Or maybe they mean it to be true, but everybody knows it's not. Okay, so drill command. Oh, 10 hut. Yeah, what is that? Is that a corruption of attention? That's always what I've thought, but I'm not sure. I think someone might have explained this to me at one point and I forgot. Boxing highlight, a title, maybe it is a title bout. And then baloney. Oh, baloney is bunk. I don't think I looked at that clue before. Whoops. Probably could have gotten that with just the NK. Oh, well. Conflict taking a couple of seconds. A duel? because you quickly turn around and fire your pistol within seconds. Oh, in a couple of seconds. I see. Sorry. The pun there, the question mark indicates seconds, meaning the person you've designated as your second in the duel. So I think that's actually, that's what it refers to as opposed to the length of time. Sorry. UK track star turned politician Sebastian Coe. Yes, indeed. And journalist who was the first woman to guest host Jeopardy. Journalist. I'm not sure. Oh, wouldn't. Then I had a fling with a Pittsburgh Penguin, but I knew he wouldn't. I'm not sure. Is it not Spinnet? Is it Spinell or something? Maybe it's Spinell. Spinell. I'm not sure. It's something. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, C81 down. Doctor of 112 down. Oh. Not sure. And counterpart of full, in a way. Let's keep just going through the puzzle. Big blank, Olympic snowboarding event. Oh, Big Air. I watched some of that this year. And journalist who was the first. Oh, who is this? Sorry. Corrick, Katie Corrick. Okay, I didn't know she guest hosted Jeopardy, but I'm aware of the existence of Katie Corrick, and that must be her. Okay, so keep rhythm as a conductor might. Beat time. That must be the case. And mucky substances. And I was in a serious relationship with a hippie, but he somethinged the something. Strong suit. Finally, I started seeing a charming musician, and he whatevered. Pan, in part. Kind of thesis. A weekend warrior's woe. Happening offline to a texter, IRL in real life. Not surprisingly. Oh, as usual. I probably could have gotten that earlier. One might be smoke-filled. Wise guys. The mafia? No, this must be an IRL, right? What about this? Devotee of Haile Selassie, informally. A Rasta. Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia. And strong suit. CRISPR material. Oh, CRISPR is it's a way to edit genetic material. It's a relatively recent invention. And is it DNA or RNA? It's one of those two. I don't remember which. Kind of thesis. And Redding, who wrote Respect, Otis Redding wrote Respect, and then of course it was made immortal. I mean, and he recorded it as well. But the immortal recording, of course, is by the great. Are you kidding that I can't think of who this is? I can picture her in my mind. What am I doing? This is ridiculous. This is. If you ever needed any proof that sometimes my brain just stops working, and even when it's information I know, it's that I can't think of the name of the singer of Respect and many other great recordings. God, this is just infuriating. Aretha Franklin, sorry. Oh my goodness. That was ridiculous. I don't like that. Don't like that sensation when I just can't bring things to mind that I know extremely well. I'm deeply familiar with Aretha Franklin's music. Anyway, of course, she transformed this song into, by changing the perspective from that of a man to that of a woman, it gave it an incredible charge. And anyway, her recording is also just unbelievable. Otis Redding is a great artist as well, but Aretha Franklin really owned this song, one must say. Okay. Organization issuing vaccine standards starting in 2021. Was it OSHA? I'm not sure actually about that. Twin sister of He-Man. She-Ra. I know of that character. It must be OSHA, I guess. Okay, I didn't know that. What in multiple senses might get tipped? Sorry, OSHA is the occupational safety, safe and healthy, safety hazards or safe, something like that agency. They regulate workplace safety, basically, in the United States. But not having been in the United States for most of the pandemic, I guess I didn't realize that they were involved with vaccine standards. Anyway, okay, fair enough. What in multiple senses might get tipped? Not sure. Take place. CRISPR material. Oh, right, that doctor thing. Mishmashes. This feels like it should be pretty straightforward as well, and yet I just can't see it. Then I had a fling with a Pittsburgh Penguin, but I knew he... I mean, wouldn't fly would on its own sort of fit, but yeah, I mean, it obviously doesn't fit the number of cells. Feel another's pain. Oh. Feel another's pain. This is also right on the tip of my tongue. Why can't I think of this word? Oh, I guess you could just, well, it's not what I was thinking of, but I guess you could just relate. You could relate to somebody and feel their pain. I was thinking of something more, the verb for it. Oh, empathize maybe is what I was thinking of. But anyway, it doesn't matter. What was this again? Oh, right, this timeout in the NBA thing. All-Star. I mean, it must be All-Star something, but I don't know what it is. Time out. What does that mean? Mishmashes. I mean, jumbles. There we go. That's the straightforward thing I was probably looking for. And a ruby-like gem. It must be a spinel or spinal or spinel. Because I think this is fly. And spin it, I think I was thinking of something else. Like a spin it piano. Oh, would never fly. Would never fly. Then I had a fling with a Pittsburgh Penguin, but I knew he would never fly. Okay, there we go. So it was the simpler version of the phrase, just saying he wouldn't fly, but it's we needed that word never to make that finally work. Oof. Okay. What is this? Hard stuff that jiggles. Oh, I see. A Jell-O shot. It's hard because it has alcohol, not because it is physically rigid. Very clever. Whimper could be mule and counterpart of full in a way. Oh, full moon and new moon, for instance. There we go. So Doctor of 112 down, Dr. Dre, I guess. So of whom is Dr. Dre the doctor? I'm not sure. And strong suit. And kind of thesis. Senior thesis, right, in university. And mucky substances. And okay, finally I started seeing a charming charming magician, and he... So maybe this is the successful relationship. Won the something, maybe no. This needs to be a D or an R. I'm guessing D in this context. Had the something, for instance, although that doesn't really work with mucky substances. What was this again? Oh, right. I was in a serious relationship with a hippie, but he... and take place. Outback speedster. Oh, maybe it is an emu. One might be smoke-filled. Oh, a humidor. So speaking of, what didn't we have? We had pricey cigars up here, and so your cigars could maybe be in a humidor. Oh, cavalrymen of old. Why didn't I look at this? The hussars. You still have them in a ceremonial context, I think, these days in various European countries. But, okay, should have looked at that earlier. That's a shame. Could have gotten that, probably. And then what about I didn't look at this either. How did I miss all these clues? Together in music is a duet. do A for 2, and Pan in part. Oh, part full, so Pan the god, the sort of, oh no, not full, goat, the goat man, sorry. I was about to say full, like the goat man, but no, that's not what a foal is. Pan is half goat. And wise guys, oh, the magi, literally wise men, okay. And take place, set, take place, set. What does that mean? There's a question mark, obviously, so there's some kind of pun or wordplay. And then, but he missed the, I was in a serious relationship with a hippie, but he missed the mucky substances. Oh, well, it could just be mud, I suppose. Muds. And strong suit. Strong suit. One's strong suit. One's metier. One's the sort of area, I don't know, almost vocation. The area that one is sort of, I don't know. I was born for this. This is my métier. So missed the cut. I was in a serious relationship with a hippie, but he missed the cut. I mean, I understand what that means, and it must be a phrase, but it's not one that I've used often. I would say didn't make the cut or that kind of thing, but he missed the cut. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Okay. Finally, I started seeing a charming musician, and he did the trick. How about that? Okay, great. He did the trick. All right. So after all of these failures, our protagonist here has finally found a charming musician partner. Oh, what in multiple senses might get tipped? A hat. You could tip a hat. And I suppose you could put a tip into a hat, maybe? What else does that mean? Washington town with a clothing namesake. Oh, it must be Oshkosh. I didn't know that was named after a location, or maybe I did and I didn't remember, but there's a children's clothing brand called Oshkosh Bagosh. And so I suppose it's named after Oshkosh. Okay, great. So timeout in the NBA must be all-star break. So the break must be the timeout. I don't know what that means. Sorry, I don't know what this is. Apologies. Starters for shorts could be apps, appetizers, and regulate. Oh, I didn't look at any of these. Cupid's Love, Mideast Currency Unit. I missed these entirely. What about this one? Oh, right. This is that. Oh, and I don't think I saw this either. Bit of kitchen waste. I don't know. It could be a rind or something like that. Regulate. I mean, could Dre simply be the doctor of rap? I mean, that seems. Is that from one of his songs or something, maybe? Weekend Warriors Woe. And bit of kitchen waste. Oh, Peel. It could be Peel. Just similar to... Oh, Shekel, Mideast Currency Unit. And Cupid's Love. Oh, Psyche. And it may be part of the solution. Oh, lie, as in the actual substance, lie. And to regulate something is to police it. Okay, there we go. And Weekend Warriors Woe, ache. So what does that mean? Because Weekend Warrior is someone who really goes hard on the weekends, I suppose, and they ache. All right, there we go. Well, we did the Sunday puzzle. Bit of a halting solve, I would say, especially, I suppose, towards the beginning and the end, I suppose. Closing it out was a little bit slower, and then breaking in took some time. So let's revisit the romantic trials and tribulations of our intrepid protagonist here. It's tough finding the right person. My first boyfriend was a perfectly nice atheist, but he had no prayer. So then I dated a fun couch potato, but he didn't work out. Then my friend set me up with a recluse, but he came to nothing. I dated my rock climbing instructor for a while, but he just let me down. Then I had a fling with a Pittsburgh Penguin, but I knew he would never fly. I was in a serious relationship with a hippie, but he missed the cut. Finally, I started seeing a charming magician, and he did the trick. So, well done. Congratulations. All right. Well, that was a very classic. That was a very classic Sunday type of theme, I think, where we have a lot of the puzzle filled with these sort of things. It's not complicated mechanically like a Thursday theme, and there's a lot of there's a lot of punning, and I presumably several of these are new to the New York Times crossword, probably missed the cut and would never fly, probably, at least. Maybe some of these others didn't work out. Anyway, a fun crossword, and I would say a bit of a range of difficulty throughout. Some bits I found easier, some bits I found more difficult. Wasn't sort of brutal or a total walk in the park necessarily. Just a range of difficulty throughout, and some very groan-worthy puns. But I'm glad it ended with. I'm glad it ended by breaking the streak. That was a nice little conclusion. And so there we have it. That was the Sunday New York Times crossword. And now we can do some. We can address some clues from yesterday's puzzle. How about that? So ZOR95, regarding Dave Clark, who was referenced in the puzzle as having been on the Ed Sullivan Show more often than the Beatles, Dave Clark was the band leader and drummer of the Dave Clark Five, a London-based group that rivaled the Beatles. Their most famous song is probably Glad All Over, which actually knocked I Want to Hold Your Hand off the top of the UK charts. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2008 by, of all people, Tom Hanks. So there we go. And Kathleen Quinn explains Pontiac, born in 1720, so Pontiac was referenced as Ottawa leader yesterday. Pontiac, born in 1720 in what is now Ohio, and died 1769 in what is now Illinois, was the Ottawa Indian chief who became an intertribal leader when he organized a combined resistance known as Pontiac's War, 1763-64, in opposition to British power in the Great Lakes region of the United States. So thank you, Kathleen, for that historical note. And Kathleen did also point out, as I said earlier, hit the 5,000 subscribers milestone. So yes, very exciting. Thank you. And that's it. I think that's all I had from yesterday's puzzle. So that's all I have for the video. In that case, speaking of subscriptions, do subscribe to the channel if you've been enjoying this, and pass it along to somebody if you think you know somebody who may enjoy it. I would appreciate that. And I hope you'll be back tomorrow for the Monday puzzle. Should be much smaller, much easier, and a much quicker solve than this one. Tends to be how it goes. It's always nice after a Sunday to have that ease. And oh, yesterday I forgot to mention, but the most recent Boss Words Fall Themeless League competition puzzle went up on the Patreon feed. So if you're a patron, then you can watch that now. And it was definitely one of my better Boss Words solves to date, I must say. So I was pleased about that on behalf of myself. All right, but with that, I'm off. I will see you tomorrow for the Monday puzzle. I hope you join me. And until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Sunday. Take care.